East Anglia from 1942 to 45 were lost during that time. This aircraft remembers them. It's named Sally B. It's a Boeing B-17G Flying Fortress. This aircraft is operated by B-17 Preservation Limited, one of the private historic aircraft operators based at the IWM Duxford in Cambridgeshire. It's supported by a team of dedicated professional volunteers, and the aircraft has been flying out of Duxford now for a remarkable 39 years. But even though it's based at the Imperial War Museum airfield, this aircraft receives no form of official support, and raising the funds needed to operate the aeroplane has been a constant struggle. It's a struggle that could come to an end unless more help in the form of finances is found to assist the aircraft in continuing its career as that all-important flying memorial. The sole B-17 flying in Europe following the grounding of the French-owned Pink Lady a few years ago. Operating any historic aircraft is an expensive business. When you're talking about a four-engined heavy bomber, the costs, of course, are multiplied. Sally B relies solely on charitable donations, sponsorship, sales of souvenirs, and the loyal support of its working team of volunteers and members of the Sally B Supporters Club. The aircraft's operator, Kelly Sallingbow, says this is a living piece of our national heritage and must be preserved for the enjoyment and education of today's and future generations. Running in from the right. Boeing Model 299, as it was known, first flew in July 1935, and the B-17 entered service in 1938. The design by that time was far from perfected. It took early operational service with the Royal Air Force, in fact, to realise that certain changes would need a bigger bomb load, more defensive armament, and better bomb aiming equipment. And the US Army Air Force had all of those on the B-17s that were deployed to the UK with the 8th Air Force from 1942. Sally B here, a late model B-17G, a true flying fortress indeed. 13 machine guns on board and able to carry a maximum total normal bomb load of some 8,000 pounds. Air Force tactic was daylight raids on German industrial targets. The survivability improved when the P-47 Thunderbolt and P-51 Mustang long-range escort fighters became available to accompany the B-17s all the way to their targets, but losses were still grievous, not least to flak, and that was in spite of the fact that the B-17 was a legendarily tough airframe. The chances of completing a full combat tour of 25 missions were very low indeed. The numbers of veterans of that time are now diminishing, and so it's perhaps ever more important as we come into a period of significant anniversaries relating to the end of the Second World War to remember their heroism and that of their colleagues. And it's this that Sally B does, and that it's carried on flying for so long, down in no small part to the tenacity and determination of its operator Ellie Sallingbow, along with the generosity of the members of the Sally B Supporters Club. Today the aircraft being flown by a crew led by aircraft captain Peter Kuipers, the Dutchman, KLM Airbus A330 captain, survey flights. And it was with them until 1975, when it was brought to the UK, then by Euro World Limited, and it's been operated ever since, all the while from Duxford but always a pleasure to see it performing majestically at other venues. It really is a terrific job that only Sally Bow and colleagues have done to keep Sally B on the Airshow circuit for all that time. There have been some huge setbacks along the way, major technical problems laying the aircraft low for periods, but always it has bounced back. Well, the film the previous year, of course, 25 years ago now. And that final pass into the turn downwind to land, dedicated as always to the members of the Sally B Supporters Club, as I said, around 6,000 of them and counting. You can join by going to their website, www.sallyb.org.uk, where you can also find out much more about the aircraft and about B-17 preservation as a whole. And those text numbers, again, that I mentioned, to donate to Sally B: AID B-17 3 to 70070. AID, if you want to donate £3, AID B-17 6 to 70070 if you wish to donate £6, and simply substitute the 3 or the 6 for whatever amount up to £10 that you wish to donate by text. It is a hugely worthwhile cause. Every penny really does count. A beautifully elegant performance by this aeroplane, and hugely appropriate to see it up in what we often call bomber country here in Lincolnshire, associated with RAF bombers, not least those such as Lancasters and Vulcans that were stationed here at Waddington over the years. But what a suitable venue at which to see this aeroplane. Wheels down now, curving into land to keep the field in sight for as long as possible before straightening up, levelling off and coming in for a gentle touchdown. And there indeed, touchdown made by the crew headed by